All right, Monday Night Football. What's up, everybody? Monday morning. Good morning. Guy here. Vikings, Niners tonight. Actually, this photo they used Monday Night Football here is got Niners throwbacks, Eagles throwbacks would be a good. I don't think they do that in the NFC Championship game. Both wear their throwbacks. It'd be pretty good looking. The wins within a win. That's what this is about. Obviously, winning first and foremost, but Brock Purdy coming off of by far his worst game. How bad was it relative to what he's done before? 44% completion percentage. So you're looking for a bounce back game for Brock. Obviously, everyone knows that 12 to 27 number. His previous low was 60% against Seattle. That was in the playoffs last year. He threw 3 touchdowns, no picks, and threw for 332 yards. So the wins within a win. Last week after the game, people said that as we went through some of the criticisms, the airing of grievances, that if Jake Moody had just made the kick at the end of the game, we'd be talking about the game completely differently. And there's probably a point there, although I don't think it's fully true. I think you still nitpick things, but it would change the way you think about tonight, right? You'd go last week, you get by the skin of your teeth. Who cares? You're undefeated, trying to stay undefeated. We'd be talking about all that undefeated stuff a little bit tonight. And obviously none of that really exists now. But Jake Moody didn't make the kick. And so tonight, number 2 on my wins within a win list. Number 1 was Brock Purdy, bounce back. Number 2 on the list, above McCaffrey's health, is Jake Moody makes kicks. Jake Moody makes kicks. That's number 2. Number 3, McCaffrey and Dre Greenlaw, if he plays, both make it through the game. The bye week is 2 weeks away. The Niners host the Bengals next week. Bengals are coming off of a bye. Then the Niners are on their bye. You'd like that bye to be, we already know that bye is going to be about like healing a specific injury for Deebo Samuel. Niners play at the Jags week 10 coming off that bye. With Trent Williams, we'll see whether or not he plays today, whether or not he plays next week. But I would like the Niners bye to just be about Cabo or whatever the hell Dre Greenlaw and Christian McCaffrey want to do. Prediction, at least on McCaffrey, is boat. He'll be on a boat in some clear, warm waters. And you hopefully, right? Like that's what you want the bye to be. You want the bye to be about rejuvenation, not rehabilitation. Just came up with that one. And that's for both of them. McCaffrey did an interview on Saturday in the locker room. I saw what Mayoko posted. They kept asking him all these questions about his health, and he kept saying, I feel great, I feel great, I feel great, I feel great. And finally, Eric Branch of the San Francisco Chronicle said, do you feel great by like normal person standards or great for yourself? And I feel great. So, he's clear. He's obviously not 100%, or else all of this wouldn't be going on, a slight tear. But you want whatever he feels. You hope that, Tuesday morning, probably not going to feel it, but Wednesday, you just kind of feel good again. And here we go, game on turf. Greenlaw's dealt with all sorts of hamstrings and groins over the course of his career. You want Greenlaw to get through it healthy. All right, now we get win within a win number 4. And you can give me your wins within a win here in the comments. We'll get to some of those coming up. But win within a win number 4, this is going to probably would not be number 4 on your list, but it's on mine. I've said it for a week now, Elijah Mitchell. If you can find a way to get Elijah Mitchell going, it could be such a value. Now, I think the first reaction to that is stop holding out hope. As long as he's on your roster, you are saying there's a value here. Whether or not you're holding out hope, okay, we can call it that. I don't think you can expect anything, but if you're keeping him around, you're trying to get out of him what we've all seen is in him. He's never, this is 3rd year in the NFL, he's never played 6 games in a row. We're not even halfway through the season yet. So nobody should expect that Elijah Mitchell's going to play tonight and then just play through the Rams game on December 7th and then be ready for the playoffs. Nobody's expecting that. Twice he's played 5 games in a row. His rookie year, both times actually, were his rookie year. His rookie year in the middle of the season, He played 5 games in a row, then immediately missed a game. And then at the end of the year, week 17, I guess then it was 16, 17, the last 2 games of the year, and then the 3 games in the playoffs, he played 5 games in a row. Within that, several games in which he had 20 carries, 100-yard games. I mean, that's all mixed in. We remember it. You're not trying to get 27 carries out of him, but I think you do want to at least see if you can get him looking a little bit like we've seen before, because to this point, he hasn't even looked that way when he's played. The Niners have had 2 games this year in which their number 2 ball carrier had double-digit carries, right? Where McCaffrey has whatever he has. Jordan Mason had 10 carries against Dallas, blowout win, mop-up duty. I was going to say it doesn't count, but it should count because we've seen McCaffrey playing, like not mop-up duty, but sweep-up duty. You sweep, then you mop. We've seen McCaffrey in sweep-up duty, and then somebody gets mop-up duty. You'd like to see somebody get some carries before, and it's happened. Like Mason got some carries. They've done this a little bit since the Pittsburgh game. Somebody else gets a few carries early. Actually, was the Giants game was the only other game in which a Niner running back has had 10 plus carries as the number 2 back, and that was Elijah Mitchell, had 11 carries in the Giants game. So if you could somehow get him in that range tonight, I know there's clamoring for Jordan Mason to be your number 2 back. As long as Elijah Mitchell's dressed, to me, like, you got to give him that shot because I've seen what his ceiling is. But it's for him. This week is particularly important. There are a lot of weeks you don't need him. If McCaffrey's going to be healthy and Debo's going to be healthy, those are weeks where you can, all right, live without Elijah Mitchell. Well, Debo's not healthy and he's not playing. He's out, and McCaffrey's not 100%, even though he says he feels great. So this is a Mitchell night, and maybe my point of, like, you're trying to be able to get him going, maybe that's incorrect. Maybe the point is there are just going to be games where you need to sprinkle him. You don't need him for 5 games in a row, hopefully, right? But sometimes you need him for a game, and this is the game where you need him for a game. Ty Davis Price's birthday today, by the way. Number 5 wins within a win. Nick Bosa sacks. Whatever. I mean, I think Nick's been good, but you'd like to see the traditional counting stats, as people like to call them. The counting stats. I mean, people always say counting stats like they're for dummies. Like, oh, if you can count it on your hand, then it's not a stat worth keeping. Brandon Ayuk. You'd like to see Brandon Ayuk, number 6 on my wins within a win. Brandon Ayuk, some volume plays. Brandon was off to such a hot start in terms of volume. Now we get targeted 10 times against Cleveland, 4 catches. Right now, in some of the major statistical categories, it's hard to find Ayuk, but in one particular category, he is near the very top. He's 54th in targets in the NFL. He's 52nd in catches. He's got 25 catches. He had 8? I think he had 17 in the first 3 games. I have to go back and look at his game log, but a lot of those catches came in the first 3 games. He had back-to-back 4-catch games, somewhere in that range. So the pace has slowed. He is 20th in the league in yards. He, however, he's 31st in touchdowns, 2. But Brandon Ayuk, 18.16 yards per reception. And don't fool yourself into thinking that's all yak, because he's averaging 4.12 yak yards. I guess not yak yards, yards after catch, yak, which is 87th in the league. So, his big plays are big plays through the air. Just over 18 yards per reception is his average. That's 4th best in the NFL. So he's hit big plays. We know that. I'd love to see some volume for his sake. It's not about, Ayuk proving anything, but you'd love to see him get back in that range where it's like, 5 to 6, maybe 6, 5.5 catches per game feels like what he's worthy of. I think any idea that you're gonna like, and they're not doing this, but I know when Ayuk doesn't have big numbers, people go, well, the good news, the glass half full is that it's going to keep his value down. I don't think it is. I don't think if he averages 4 catches a game or 6 catches a game, that's a big difference. I don't think it's going to artificially suppress his value. I think much like everyone watching this video, the rest of the league has watched the games. They know how the Niners play. They get it. And somebody will go, no, I'll project 20 more catches for Brandon Ayuk in my offense, right? Like, just imagine he's on the Chiefs. Does he have more catches? Yeah, of course. And number 7 on my wins within a win, left tackle. If Trent Williams doesn't play, sprained his ankle. We know it's not a high ankle sprain, but it's an ankle sprain. If Jalen Moore is in there, good. I mean, this is a team that pressures a lot. Wink Martindale / Brian Flores at defensive coordinator. And that just means a lot of activity. Even if they bring 4, it still means there are pass rushes to keep track of. We always talk about like the 5-man or the 6-man pressures, but sometimes they bring 4. You're not exactly sure which 4. They might show 6 and bail. Like, it still takes communication, right? That's good experience. And as we've seen over the course of his Niner career, Trent Williams misses a game here or there. So, you're just thankful it wasn't last week against Myles Garrett. He was able to come back. But anyway, there's some wins within a win for Monday Night Football. Before I get to some of your comments, I did want to play this. This is not about Monday Night Football tonight, but it is about the NFC Championship race, and it is about December 3rd. On December 3rd, the 49ers are going to roll into Philadelphia. The Eagles, if they have a similar record to the Niners, will look incredible given the stretch they've come off of. When the Niners play Philly, Philly will have just played Dallas, at Kansas City, Buffalo. So if the Eagles are anywhere near the 1 seed, and it feels like they will be, they'll have some really impressive wins under their belt. And they'll be there with their coach. They got a lot of guys easy to like on their team. I mean, Hurts, easy to like. A.J. Brown, baller. Nick Sirianni, last night after the Eagles game.
Like, we can do it. They can't do it.
He's talking about the brotherly shove.
People can't do it like we can do it. They can't do it like we can do it. And so I'm making my plug right there. Like, don't ban this play. Like, if everyone could do it, everybody would. Where's the camera? If everybody could do it, everybody would do it. If everybody could do it, everybody would do it.
Yeah. There you go. There's the guy. Ayuk's not going to see a max contract with those drops. I don't think he's going to see a max. This is in the NBA. He's not going to see he's not going to see the top tier NFL money, receiver money, I don't think. But I think he's more than proven that he's a stud receiver. And, those guys there's a lot of teams that would love him. Ayuk's going to have a huge night. This is not about the Eagles, but I knew somebody would say this if I just put his face up. Nick Sirianni is the most punchable face I've ever seen in a coach. I mean, he gets it. There you go. I'll just leave that up. You are less likely to be punched if you roll with Sirianni, I guess. When they traded for McCaffrey, he wasn't supposed to be used like he was in Carolina because the Niners had weapons already. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about it the other day. He's on pace for a lot of touches. It's not quite Carolina level touches, right? He's on pace for 376 touches. We'll see what he gets tonight. I guess that is actually it is Carolina. His second highest number in Carolina was 326. The high his third year in the league in 2019 was 408, which was the year that he led the league in rushing and was a 1K guy. And then he totaled 10 games in the next 2 years after that. So yeah, the numbers I mentioned these on Wednesday. He's got 133 touches. That's almost 100 more touches than the guy that's second on the team, which is Debo, with 38. Ayuk has 25. And Elijah's got 21 and Kittle's got 18. So yeah, I mean, it's like when you play a video game and you've got turbo boost. You use turbo boost and then it goes away and you got to let it regenerate. Shanahan uses McCaffrey like he doesn't have to wait for it to regenerate. He can just use endless turbo boost. McCaffrey's his turbo boost. Arthur Smith, extremely punchable. I was watching the Falcons yesterday, and at one point Arthur Smith was losing his mind, and it was very humorous and it was funny. I didn't I have to check. I'll have to watch Arthur Smith a little differently. I'm just checking some one of the things somebody here said that Moody's lack of leg power glamorized why less touchbacks. I got to go back and look. See if I can find this research real quick that I did on Moody and touchbacks. I'll look for it today, and maybe we'll have it we'll do a reaction after the game. We'll be back on YouTube tonight. But I thought that I did an analysis going into the draft of Moody, or maybe coming out of the draft, going into the draft of Moody and Robbie Gould before they drafted Moody. And part of it was the increase in touchbacks, because the Niners didn't get touchbacks. The Niners haven't been able to cover kicks the last few years very effectively. And so the theory was, well, he's really going to help you on touchbacks. Niners right now are 29th in the NFL in kickoff touchback percentage, 62%. I don't know what the answer is there, other than we think we can hold teams inside the 25 if we kick to them, which, I mean, we could check the let's see if I could special teams defense. Just trying to find this real quick. Otherwise, opponent. Yeah, I got to look for the average starting field. Well, yeah, I'm not sure. It's good. I'll make a note. Try and find that before tonight's game. Just the general kind of, is it working? You're obviously not touching it back because you want to get teams to return it and cover them. My guess, if we had special teams coach here, would be like, well, a strong leg can also hang the ball on some level on a kickoff. I've never really heard special teams coaches talk about it that way, but maybe you get it up in the air. You got to wait for it at the 5, then you tackle them. I don't know. Good question though. I don't know if that's been addressed at this point, but it comes up a lot. So, it's something worth watching for. Romo sounded miserable and hungover last night. I didn't really. What game was he on? I don't remember. No, it wasn't Bills Patriots. I don't know. Anyway, so there you go. There's the wins within a win for me. There's definitely more than that. So there will be things we don't expect that happen in this game. You'd love to see Brock Purdy play well. I think everybody's narrative for the narrative police, the nightmare would be Purdy doesn't play well, Cousins plays well. and Kyle's love is reignited. No, I'm kidding a little bit, but we we haven't hit the trade deadline yet. There's still time. Basim Yan. Off topic. Thanks for the 5 spot. Off topic, but what do you think of the Ravens? I already penciled that game as a loss. Mobile QBs are the kryptonite. Lamar is scary. Yeah, Ravens look really good. Ravens look like a championship contender. I've watched a lot of the Ravens, as most of you have. There do tend to be Ravens games where guys are just inexplicably dropping passes. That game is Christmas Day. Good news for the Niners. It is a home game. Niners are coming off a road game in Arizona, and the Ravens are coming off a road game in Jacksonville. So could be a physical game for them back to back. That's going to be 5:15 on Christmas Day. So be watching that instead of whatever new Transformers movie comes out. But yeah, I mean, Ravens are scary. Lamar's the main reason, but also their defenses. Here's a prediction. We're going to get to December 24th, and the Ravens defense will be better than the Browns. We'll look at the Ravens defense as better than the Browns defense by then. That's my prediction on the Ravens defense. Let's take a quick look at this Ravens schedule. What's their record? I mean, not that the record game is easy, but what's their record going to be? So right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2. They got Arizona this week, 6 and 2. That's a road game. They got Seattle at home, 7 and 2. They get the Browns at home. Kicked their ass the last time, 8 and 2. Got the Bengals at home. Let's just give them a loss there for whatever reason. I don't think they'll lose it necessarily. 8 and 3. They go to the Chargers. That could be a weird game. We'll say 9 and 3. Rams at home, 10 and 3 at the Jags. I mean, 11 and 3. So they will be, when they visit the Niners, at best 11 and 3, but it doesn't work that way. But 10 and 4 probably. I think the Ravens will be 10 and 4 when they play. So they'll look good. I mean, Lamar was dialed yesterday. That game is, the one thing is when you're up like 20 to nothing at the half, sometimes it's not even a game worth totally judging. But let's just do a quick Lamar Jackson MVP stats. Little game log search here. See what Lamar's been up to statistically. I know what it's looked like, but I have not checked his numbers. 8 touchdowns, 3 picks. Does that include yesterday? Yeah, it does. Throwing, I mean, feels better than that. He's got 5 rushing touchdowns, though. So Lamar has been over 70% passing in all but one game this year. Their Pittsburgh game was the only game which he wasn't over 70%. Wow. Yeah, 78% in the last game, 70% the week before against Tennessee, 223. It's you said it though. His ability to run is terrifying, and the Niners, that's the recipe for that. Mobile quarterback in a run game. Kirk Cousins saying that. I think Kirk is what's the stat? 3 and 7 on prime. I read it yesterday. 3 and 7 on prime time. It feels bad. 5 and 7 in prime time. It feels like he's been in prime time more than 10 times. Something like that. But yeah, I mean, this is true, Paul. That's true. Yeah, the game in Baltimore was that game was a slog. It was muddy. It was raining. So I have not penciled that game in as an L, but they are going to be, at this moment, it looks like the Ravens are the second best team the Niners play. Or maybe the best team. I mean, he's better than Jalen right now. So maybe the best team they play. There you go. All right. Off with it. Monday Night Football. See you guys back here on YouTube afterwards. If you're here right now, Tito's Handmade Vodka. That's a sponsor. Definitely going to be enjoying a Tito's maybe pregame tonight. So you get back in the right mindset by the postgame stream. But they're a sponsor. So thanks to Tito's Handmade Vodka. And if you're here, you're a sponsor. If you hit that like button, that makes you a sponsor. You hit that like button, you subscribe to the channel, and the algorithm on YouTube says, somebody liked it. Let's give it to somebody else. And you help more people discover the show when you do that. So we appreciate that. And you help the channel grow. So thank you for that. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you back here after the game, after Monday Night Football. Have a great Monday, everybody. Later.